Hello, welcome back to Van TV Media, guys. If you're new, please just consider subscribing to the channel and turn on the notification bell so that in case we do upload any story, you'll be the first one to view. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate so much because you are the one who have made this channel to be where it is right now. You are the only one who've made this channel to reach 25k subscribers. That's why I still appreciate. That's why I still appreciate you for doing what? For supporting this channel. For the newcomers, please do so. Subscribe to our channel so that we can be in the same family. And for those who are returning subscribers, I do appreciate so much for you or making me be here where we are right now, guys. If you are not a member, please just be a member of this channel by just subscribing to the channel to be a member, and all will be well, guys. We are moving to Africa, and we are seeing the economic community of Central Africa states is now having a problem that ECCAS had. Now this ECCAS is now having the problem of ECCAS, where ECCAS had the same problem. In ECCAS, we saw three countries decided to pathway. Three countries decided to move away from ECCAS, and now we are seeing Rwanda is now moving away from ECCAS. Now Rwanda decides that everything that is happening in ECCAS is not the right manner, the way they are thinking, like the way they are hoping it to be like. So Rwanda announced, the president of Rwanda decided to announce that he will be moving away from ECCAS. Guys, before we proceed with this, remember to do so. Don't forget to subscribe, and let us dive in this story, and we will be back for more.
Rwanda has announced that it will leave the Economic Community of Central African States, or ECCAS, this Saturday. In its official statement, Kigali accused the organization of being instrumentalized by the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The announcement came on the same day as the ECCAS summit held in Equatorial Guinea. The summit had been convened to select a new country to assume the bloc's rotating presidency, and Rwanda was expected to be nominated. However, both the DRC and Burundi opposed the move. Officials from the two countries declared they would not attend a summit hosted in Rwanda. As a result of the dispute, the presidency of Equatorial Guinea was extended for another year.
If anyone comes around and thinks they can, they come and say, hey, we're going to sanction you. What? Go to hell. Just go to hell. I tell anybody who thinks they can tell me what to do, how this country should be, I'll tell them to go to hell. I'm serious about this. It doesn't matter where you come from. But if you have a good opinion that differs from mine, I listen to you. We can have a conversation. But I will not take anybody's dictate from the basis that they think that they are better than all of us, and they have the right to this dominance. I will not accept it at my level, small level here. I know leaders when I see them. I also know idiots when I see them. You can imagine the combination of both of them, the disaster it is. If you are a leader and an idiot, it's a disaster, absolute disaster. It is even worse, even more dangerous, if the very people who hold the power in their hands. Decide that they will be manipulated and played around for some interest by idiots. Really, you know, it is. I have had interactions with many of our leaders on the continent. And among the things we talk about is if we don't take ourselves and what we do seriously, nobody will. Nobody will take us seriously. And we will always remain just neither here nor there, and people doing with us whatever they want without any of us asking, say, why? What is this? And then in the end we start complaining about, oh, you know, this is racism, this is blah, 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 blah. Well, but I think we are the ones who drive ourselves in that kind of situation. There are things we need to be rejecting and doing so openly and without fear or favor. Why? Why can't we do that? Why are we not the kind of people? Why do we even need to have a problem like that one in Eastern Congo, needing a solution from the UN, from some countries? Why? Why can't we? There's no...
Right, guys, as I told you, these blocks, Africa is not united at all. This Africa is not united at all. This Africa needs to have someone who can make it to be united, because we are not seeing any unity here in Africa. Because you see, in ECCAS, Ibrahim Traore and Mali president and Niger president decided to move away from ECCAS because of these things that is not this misunderstanding of organization. In Africa, organizations are not doing the right thing, where where leaders are not united the way we people, the way we Africans, we need it to be united. In ECCAS, you see, the Rwanda's needed to be appointed as the leader of that ECCAS, but you see DRC and the Burundi have decided not to let Rwanda be the leader of this organization. So it means that there is no unity in these organizations. And whenever we see this organization that we believe in, this organization that we hope may make Africa great, we don't see anything that shows that this organization can make Africa to be great than where we are expecting. You see, in ECCAS, most of the leaders in ECCAS, they're the old people. And these leaders of ECCAS, they don't need their decision. They don't provide their decisions on controlling the West Africa. These leaders needs the decisions. They need opinions from the West countries. Whereby the West countries don't have any successful deal, successful ideas that can provide here in Africa Africa to be great. Instead of those countries used to come here in Africa to be benefiting themselves. So whenever we Africans we put our minds into West countries, we African will still be at the rate that will not be expected. You see, in even African Union, guys, you see, even in African Union, this is the big organization here in Africa. This is the organization that puts together all 54 countries together to have unity. This is the organization that puts all 54 countries to have one idea that can make Africa great, but we don't see anything happening from this organization. We see so many things that are happening here in Africa that shows that organization is not doing their right, it's not doing the things that we expect it to be done. We see so many insecurities in different countries, but we've never seen any leader from African Union coming together, coming close, and deciding on how can make that securities to be to do away with the insecurity that is here in Africa. Instead of them, they thinks of going to different countries from the West. You see, whenever there is supposed to be a meeting, you can get them going to another countries, in France for seminars, in where for seminars, instead of focusing with their nation. So right now, some of the leaders here in Africa have woken up. We saw Ibrahim Traore have woken up. We saw the president of Mali. We saw president of Niger. Now Paul Kagame is following up. Paul Kagame is getting those footprints that are all those three leaders had them before. So Paul Kagame has seen there is nothing can get from ECCAS. Instead, he move away and decide on his own what to do with his nation. This is the only decision that the great leaders can do. This is the only vision that the great leader can do. Whenever you see an organization not helping you, whenever you see there is no any help from any organization here in Africa, the best thing is to sit down and think the best thing to do so that your nation can be great, so that your nation can move forward, so that your nation can be depend on its own, instead of depending on the nations that are coming from the West. You see the leader of ECCAS, Tundolisu. This is the president, this is the old president that usually you see the president of Nigeria, the president of Nigeria, this is the leader of ECCAS. You see how he used to go to West, how they bow down to the leaders of the West. When you get a president want to do even small thing, you see, small thing, even birthday, you get a president, instead of doing his birthday in his country, gets out to France, gets out to Canada, gets out to Germany to do his birthday. So how can you believe in this type of leader? How can this type of leader make Africa great? So this is what we African we are facing, and Africa needs to unite and make Africa great. Africa is supposed to come together and think the way Ibrahim Traore is trying to think, the way Ibrahim Traore is trying to push Africa from the West. So guys, this is how President of Rwanda made a speech and said that he will be no longer working with ECCAS. Right? He saw ECCAS doesn't do whatever he needs. He wanted to be a leader of ECCAS, but they don't need him to be a leader. Because you can see yourself, there's something this organization, there's something that this organization needs. And if I'll be in that position of being a leader of this organization, this and this is what I will be doing to this organization, so that this organization to be great the way I need it to be. But other leaders don't want you to be a leader. Other leaders just need them to be a leader of that organization. Why can't you? How can you stay with them? How can you continue dwelling with them? The best thing is to move out. Yes, the best thing is to move out. The way these three countries decided to move out from ECOWAS, the best thing is to move out and decide on what you can do on your own. This is the best thing here in Africa. Because here in Africa, most organizations, all these organizations are being headed by the old people. Surely, these organizations are being headed by the old people, and these organizations, they are working on the brains of old people, where they cannot think on how to make Africa to proceed, to have a progress. Because people are old. You see, someone is having almost 90 years. Someone is having 80 years, 87 years, 85 years. What can you expect to get from such a person? So Africa needs to have the youths who can liberate this Africa. Africa needs to have the youths who can make this African great, who can have power to chase the West, who are coming here in Africa to make Africa look like garbage. So guys, this Africa needs people who can be great, and we are now seeing this we are now seeing this breakup of organizations is the solution that will make this African great. We need this organization to change. We need this organization to have a new faces. We need this organization to have a young people who can lead Africa, because young people right now are the one who can lead this Africa. We need people like Ibrahim Traore who can think on how to make Africa be great. So guys, this is all about what Paul Kagame decided to part way with ECCAS, and this is how Africa body, this is how African organizations are now treating other countries. Just drop your comment and tell us, what is your opinion on this? What is your opinion? Will Paul Kagame succeed on his journey after moving away from ECCAS? And guys, let us meet in the next episode.